tanzen, bin geschliffen nach Sanjena Welt mit Wanzen. Ich bin gefahren Kanades, kaufen Pomeranzen, bin geschliffen nach Sanjena Welt mit Wanzen. Pravedorta simchim mamesha holyanki. Ich bin gefahren Kanades auf der Moldawanki. Hab die Pravedorta simchi take holyanki. Oi heissete, kaltete, tegelacha mit Fasolis. Alle scheine Meidalach, oi ob Nisidolis. Oi heissete, kaltete, bekalach die Reusen. Wer strotken schleck ist nie, der verliert die Heul. Oi leba, lebasiak, oi firma in Amerika, du skorst den ganzen Nachmittag. Leba, lebasiak, oi firma in Amerika, das kostet den ganzen Nachmittag. Und spielst du Klezmer noch einmal, und noch einmal, die Weibel führt man in Spital. Ai, 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 hopscha, Риcha, sagt die Mama, тройку родила, и мама записалась в комсомол. Ай, 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 hopscha, 3 часа, мама тройку родила, мама записалась в комсомол. Ой, мама моя местный, в СССР известный, и мама записалась в комсомол. Ой, мама моя местный, ganz Украин известный, и мама записалась в комсомол. Ой, spielt Klezmer noch einmal, die Weibel wird man in Spital. Ai, 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 hopscha, 3 часа, и мама тройку родила, и мама записалась в комсомол. Ai, 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 hopscha, 3 года, и мама тройку родила, и мама записалась в комсомол.
Well, we have quite a lot of fun on our own, just the two of us, as I think you can see. But we are so glad that finally Miss Sasha Lori, however you want to say it.
Fun, I can go.
Yeah, no, we'll have more fun with you. She just flew in yesterday from Berlin. We had a bit of some complications getting her visas processed and all that, but it finally came through, and she joined the tour straight off the plane.
Don't you think I'm not jet lagged at all? These red eyes is just how I like them. It's a style. Well, hello. It's really wonderful to see you, and thank you for coming out. We're gonna switch the subject, keeping the subject a little bit. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about this next song. I learned it from a great master and a great teacher of many of ours, Arkady Gendler. He was born in Soroke in Bessarabia in 1921 and was a 11th child. He was the youngest of 11 children and had a really incredible life. He's the only one in his family who survived the war. And he served in the Soviet army and remembered so many songs from his childhood, from being in the theater, being in a youth theater, and was really rediscovered as this treasure of Yiddish song quite late in his life, and traveled the world. And he recorded his first album in San Francisco in the early 2000s. And he passed away about 5 years ago in his home of Zaporizhia in Ukraine, where he lived out his life. And it's a special place and a special person. And this song he learned from its author, from Zelig Berdichever, who was a great Yiddish troubadour traveling the world. And Arkady was a little boy when he heard it, because this song comes from early 30s, which was another tumultuous time in Europe. And in a way, Arkady always said that this song was kind of, how do you say it? Prophetic, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And
It's like the one word in English Sasha didn't recall immediately.
I'm jet lagged. Oh no, I'm not jet lagged. Wait, let's get back to the. Yes, it says, in my dark, poor home, I sit alone and forgotten. I envy you, my brother, because your little birds are asking for food, and you have been telling me, you've been advising me to build a nest of my own, but my heart that feels the upcoming storm doesn't let me have my own birds, because in the corner there hangs a spider that sucks life out of the flies, and in the song of the cricket I don't hear anything new. And doves are flying, white doves, and they're flying higher than the clouds, and the rain falls and rivers flow, coloring blood red. Oh, you clouds and spiders, why do these doves hurt me so? You, my brother, you hear your little birds cry, and I see window panes colored in blood red. Im dunklen Zimmer setz ich einsam und vergessen. Setz ich einsam und vergessen. Dir mekane bin ich Bride, deine Feigelmonenessen. Dir mekane bin ich Bride, deine Feigelmonenessen. Hast mich heizen, hast mich ruten, sich an Äste lois zu bogen, Sie kann es loslassen, nur mein Herz, was fehlt dem Sturm, lässt keine Feigl mir nicht wohnen. Nur mein Herz, was fehlt dem Sturm, lässt keine Feigl mir nicht wohnen. In a winkel, es hängt der Spinn dort, es noch von Fliegneus des Chayes, noch von Fliegneus des Chayes, in dem Liegen von dem Grill dort, ich lang schon nicht Kinayes, in dem Liegen von dem Grill dort, ich lang schon nicht Kinayes, fliegen Täuben, weiße Täuben, fliegen find ich Mares Hecher, fliegen find ich Mares Hecher, gießt der Regen, ich kann sie jucken, Farben, Blotte, Kreu, die Techer, gießt der Regen, Ritschke sie jucken, Farben, Blotte, Kreut, die Techer. Oi, dich Mares und die Spinnen, oi, wie weit ihr die Täuben, oi, wie weit ihr die Täuben, dieses Bride, Feigelweinen, ich seh blutige Reute schäumen. Dieses Bride, der Feigelweinen, ich seh blutige Reute schäumen.
over the last year, especially about the mobilization and forced and sometimes random mobilization of soldiers or people to be made into soldiers in Russia in particular, and the necessity of young men, especially, and women actually, who have needed to go into the army of Ukraine and be on the front lines and often not return. The tradition of conscription of the draft into, and particularly the army of the Tsarist Empire, the preceding Russian Empire, is one that, among other factors, helped encourage many of us of East European Jewish heritage, or just heritage from the Russian Empire, to come to places like North America. And so there are many songs in both Yiddish folklore and Ukrainian life and so forth that come out of this period and reflect the travail of the separation of families from young men. Sometimes in the second quarter of the 19th century, this was the period when often young Jewish boys, as young as 12 or even 11 or 12, were often grabbed off the streets and impressed into service for, at that time, 25 years or more. And so there are songs that speak of the deep heartbreak and pain of this period. And there are also songs that were created by, in this case, by Jewish soldiers in the Russian army, as kind of, they were set often to Russian soldier songs, the tunes of Russian soldier songs, and they serve as a kind of instruction manual on how to continue to be Jewish, what you do as part of the Jewish ritual day. You wake up in the morning, you say the Ani, giving thanks for being, you do any number of things. You head off to the synagogue, you put on your talis and tefillin, and you go through a variety of parts of the Jewish service. And so this is kind of like, the song's almost a kind of Sesame Street of how to reminding young Jewish boys and continuing on, how to continue being Jewish. So this one is Еврейская вера, the Jewish faith. This one's mostly in Russian, but again in the kind of mixture of Russian and Ukrainian that called surjik, that even at least 25% of the population of Ukraine still speaks at this point. So, Еврейская вера, the Jewish faith, this and this and this happens. And so there's a part you can sing along with. You may not know the words, but imitate them. You'll hear it's a repeating chorus. But if you do know the words, like I bet you do, then please sing along. Еврейская вера, так и так и так, надо рано уставать. Люди, да люди, надо рано уставать. Люди, да люди, надо рано уставать. Ой, надо рано уставать, мой Деяни рассказать. Мой Деяни рассказать. Мой Деяни рассказать. Ой, мой Деяни рассказать. ובס מדרש נביגת ובס מדרש נביגת ובס מדרש נביגת אוי ובס מדרש נביגת nagiewać. Ale są chwilą nagiewać. Oj, tale sunt viln nagiewać. Shema Yisrael zakr. Synagogue service ends, right?
It does, doesn't it? You don't do it here?
Well, now you get the bagels and the lox and the capers if you're lucky, a bit of red onion, you know. In the old days, it was just a bit of vodka or maybe a single malt if you're lucky. Right?
Not only the old days, my bar mitzvah was like that.
I
On a
think
Thursday morning.
That might have been a few years ago, Mish.
Yeah, those kind of old days, but not the kind of old days you were talking about. The
I don't know. I think last Yom Kippur we broke fast with mashke, like with a little whiskey.
yeah,
And,
it still happens.
yeah,
The,
isn't that like it's the best calories?
Can you tell what Purim is near?
Just like can smell the mashke from Purim.
Yeah, maybe from our car.
So there are similar songs in many of the traditions of the Russian Empire. This service in the Tsarist army, and also as well as the army of the other empires of Central Europe, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Russian Empire, and so forth. But in particular, out of the Russian Empire, for example, this didn't only happen to Jews, and as such, there are many Ukrainian language songs that are of a similar bent. This one says that on the hill, high on the hill, a young girl is gathering flax and kissing her sweetheart, but people are laughing at them behind their backs because already the chains are being forged to take him away. And the chains have been forged, his hands have been tied behind him, and he's being led down the well-beaten path to the fortress. And at the end, he's taken off down the well-beaten path, and the young woman is left standing by the gate, awash in tears. Oy nahori nahori. Traditionally, there isn't a long pause for someone to put on their capo.